Welcome everybody to live show number 8. And before I forget, I'd like to thank the moderators for keeping the chat civil, the sponsors for sending interesting products, and you for showing up. As well, don't forget to check out the current giveaway, and you can go to 3dgameman.com and click on the giveaway link at the top right-hand corner of the site. And you know what? If you're in chat right now, well, I have the link for you in 1, 2, 3. There you go. If you haven't checked that out already, check it out. It's a couple of products from NZXT, a Vulcan case, as well as the Sentry LXE fan controller, which is just a phenomenal fan controller. So check that giveaway out. Also, if you find me sometimes looking into different cameras, well, it's because I have 2 cameras recording this event. One of them is for the Ustream live broadcast, and I'm looking into that web camera right now. And the other one is an HD camcorder, which I'm looking into right now. So if you're on YouTube watching this later on, and you're probably wondering, why is he really not looking into the camera directly? Well, it's because I'm doing this as a live broadcast, and I'm using the web camera for that. Right here. Not here. Right here. So there you have it. Okay, so let's get going here. Some of you who have watched the shows before know that they're divided into 4 segments. I'm thinking about doing, 3 segments. I'm thinking about doing 4 different segments. But for now, I'll do 3. The first one is me answering selected questions from my Rodney Reynolds site, at the forums on that site. And the second part of the show is me taking questions about this week's video reviews. And at the end of the show, the last segment will be about a mystery product. If I have one, if I do not, well, I'll do something else instead. Now, before I start off here with the first part of the show, let me first ask you where you're from, and maybe do another poll after that as well. Let me get that up here now. Where are you from? North America or overseas? Let me start the poll. And you can also introduce yourself in chat if you want to, just so, you know, everyone gets to know everybody else, so to speak. Mostly, you know, there's going to be folks from North America. That's my neck of the woods, but there is a lot of people from overseas. Well, it looks like most of the votes are in. Again, pretty close, 60% North America and 40% overseas. It's impressive, needless to say. Let me stop the poll, remove the poll, and add another poll. Let's do another poll. How old are you? That's an interesting poll because it kind of gives me an idea how old you are. You know, maybe I'm suspecting most of you are probably between 12 and 25. I don't know. Let's see. So, let's say less than 10, 10 plus, 15 plus, maybe not. let's narrow that down a bit. Less than 20, less than, I don't know, 40, I might insult somebody here. Less than 60, I don't know, anyone over 60? Well, probably not. Some of us who are over the age of 40 will probably be feeling really bad right now, but We'll all grow old. As I suspected, most people are 20 and less. Still between 40 and 20, that's what I suspected. Okay, let me stop that poll. Okay, let's begin with the first part of the show. Start my trusty timer here. So each segment will be around 10 minutes. So here we go. And the first segment of the show is about me answering questions that I selected from my Rodney Reynolds site. It's rodneyreynolds.com. I'll just send a link here in chat. Most of you know the site, but there you go. The first question is about the cheapest DirectX graphics cards currently on the market. Now, I'm not going to list the cheapest, but there's two that are acceptable because, to be honest, video cards that are cheapo and too cheapo, well, they're useless. You really can't play hardly anything with them, let alone DirectX 11 games at high resolution. So, I'm not going to list the cheapest, but what I think are probably, affordable, decent video cards too. And one of them being the ATI or AMD HD 5770 or the NVIDIA GTS 450. Now those are still pretty low-end video cards if you're thinking about gaming at 1080p. If you're gaming at 1680 by 1050, then it should be fine overall. You can always add another one as well if you want to have some kind of multiple video card setup. But those two, the HD 5770 and the GTS 450, would be two excellent options. I would, though, save my money and instead of getting either one of those, spend $50 extra and get a GTX 460 because that is an incredible video card, probably one of the best bang for the buck video cards currently on the market. Now this next question is one that, has been asked many times before, but I'll address it one more time and maybe again in the future. It's about memory, and it's about latency versus speed. What's best to go for? Like, for example, is it better to go with memory that has a higher megahertz or speed, or is it better to go with memory that has a lower speed, and it usually is much more affordable, but that lower speed memory has a faster latency or a faster timing, meaning that the timing is going to be lower than the other one. Now I know it's confusing, higher and lower and all that kind of thing, but the fact of the matter is you want to go, whatever memory you go with, you try and select memory that has a lower latency or timing than a higher latency, because the lower the latency is, the faster the memory is, regardless of the speed, the megahertz of the memory. And to be honest, in most cases, I would probably recommend you go for a slower memory, meaning megahertz, but get memory that has a lower latency. I hope I didn't screw that up, but it's a little bit confusing. but lower latency is better than getting memory with higher latency. For example, it's better to go with 7777 than 10. Now, this next question is about case fans. Specifically, this person asked about sleeve bearings and ball bearings. Well, those two fans are somewhat similar, not really similar, but sleeve bearings, it's friction based. It's something that rubs against a surface or more than one surface as the blades of the fan, the actual core of the fan actually spins, and there's friction involved. It will wear, and usually though those fans are cheaper, but they make more noise generally than, for example, ball bearing fans, which use actual steel balls, and those will last a bit longer, but of course there's still friction involved. And there are many other types of computer fans. I don't know really what happened to magnetic bearing fans. They used to be around years ago. I suspect because of cost, most people are not doing them, but you can still get them. Other ones are fluid bearings and so on and so forth. But for the most part, what you'll see in the computer industry, most fans will be sleeve bearings or rifle bearings or ball bearings. Magnetic bearings are great, but you don't see a lot of them. I'll just post a link here also in chat to Wikipedia, and you can go there and find out more information on the different types of fans. Boy, I'm really organized here tonight. It's unbelievable. And this next question is similar to the one I just answered. A cheap fan versus an expensive fan. Well, there you go. A cheap fan would be, one with sleeve bearings, and the ball bearings or magnetic bearing fans will be much more expensive. And there's also all kinds of different types of fans. And I did write up a little section here in the forum post to this, and I'll just read that now. And this person asks us about cheap fans versus expensive fans, and I answered, generally, more expensive fans will last longer, but there are other factors to consider, like how much air does it push, CFMs, speed, RPMs, and noise, which are the decibels or dB. There are also fans with LEDs. Some have more blades or different shaped blades, and yet others have speed controls built in, like for example some Antec fans. And those are the Antec Tri-Cool fans, and I find those fans really, really nice to have. A controller, rheostat, a switch right on the fan where you can go from a low, medium to a high setting. Quite nice. This next question is a little serious. It's about colleges for computer hardware related courses and degrees. Well, I can't list all the colleges and university degrees that are around, different colleges and universities all around the country and the world for that matter. But it's important obviously to get some kind of an education through college or university and go from there. Maybe get a certification. It depends on what you want to go in for. You don't necessarily have to get a computer science course or a degree in university. You don't have to do that at all. You could build a business right from the ground up with very little academic education per se. But it's usually better to get some kind of foundation and some kind of professional training, to go forward. And once you get that, then you can make your own decisions whether you want to work for somebody else or if you want to, maybe start your own business. This next question is about drivers and software installs. This person has noticed that I'm always installing new hardware and new drivers and new software and all that type of stuff. How do I deal with all these installs and uninstalls and all that kind of stuff? Well, I just keep it really simple. I try and install it. If I don't need it, I uninstall it completely. And I have also CCleaner, and by the way, I'll do a link to that now in chat. That's an excellent program that will clean things up for you. It's a free program, by the way. But also have SpyBot and other things installed because you visit a lot of websites and so on and so forth, and have a good antivirus program like AVG or Kaspersky or Bitdefender, and also of course the other options to go with some kind of total internet security package, which I have on my system or systems is Bitdefender, and that's a wonderful security package. If you're concerned, you should have something installed in your computer system. It's amazing, sometimes I help friends and family out and their systems are just infested. I mean, it's bad, really bad. Malware and the malicious kind of stuff going on, Trojans and viruses. It's amazing the computer systems even work at all. So you really want to have that stuff. Keep the system, and remember, only install the stuff that you need. Don't install everything that you see online. Oh my gosh, that seems like a good thing. Let's just give it a try. But you really don't have any interest in it except that maybe your friend told you about it and you just want to install it just to see what it's like. Keep your system as clean as you possibly can. A few more questions here, and it will end part 1 of this live show. AMD overclocking. Which of the AMD processors are best? Well, you know what? I mean, I don't have a heck of a lot of experience with AMD processors, at least the latest ones, mostly with Intel for me now. But I do have an AMD setup, which I'm using for this live broadcast actually. But some of the higher end or some of the better CPUs that I would suggest to you would be the 940, the 955, the 965, the 1055T, or the 1090T would be a few that are, I think, really good. Some of them are more expensive than others, but most AMD CPUs won't break the bank, and that's the good thing about AMD. You can get a major bang for your buck. This person's asking about dual power supplies. How can you do it? Well, all you need to do is buy a dual power supply adapter cable, and that's all you need to do. As long as you have provision for it in your case or whatever you're doing. Maybe you're setting it up, some kind of open air design case or test bench, I don't know. But yeah, all you need is a dual power supply adapter cable. I believe Lee actually has one of those, but you can get those as well. Just Google it. This is the final question here from RodneyReynolds.com forums. Is the solid state a question about solid state drives? Is it possible to have a solid state drive as your boot drive and then install your games and that type of stuff or game information on another drive? Well, yes, it would be, and that's what I would recommend if you want to save a few dollars. If you want to get maybe a couple of 40 gigabyte solid state drives and put them into a RAID 0 configuration, you can just use that as your primary C drive and then try and keep it as free as possible. I know it's not easy because most everything will install on your C drive, but when you're installing your games, you can tell them where to install and where also to have the different data associated, like for example the saved games and so on and so forth, installed or saved on another drive. You would need to do that really if you have a small solid state drive. You would really, and you have to do it because some people are getting like 40 gigabytes and 60 gigabyte solid state drives, and to be honest, it's a little low. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend anything to really below 60 or 80 gigabytes today because Windows 7 takes up a nice bit of space, and then some of the basic stuff that you need to install, so 60 to 80 gigabytes should be fine, but you can't go lower, of course. Okay, so that ends part 1. 2 more parts to go here. And the next part of the show is about me taking your questions online, in chat. And if you're not in chat, get in chat. We have over 200 viewers again tonight. That's great. Isn't that great? That's just wonderful. I would like to see like 400 or more, but hey, yeah, party time. Party time, baby. There, let's start some music. No, forget that. Okay, here we go. Questions from you about the video reviews that I did this week, and I have them here. to link to, I believe. Here we, or do I? Yes, I do. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, here's one. Here's the solid state drive. And here is the video card. So what I did this week, 2 video reviews, one of them being on the Palette GTS, not GTX, GTS 450, Palette GTS 450 video card. And here she be. Any questions about this particular product? Which is better, the GTS 450 or an HD 5770? The GTS 450 will take it, at least from my tests. Yes, it does outperform the HD 5770 in most tests. Not all tests, but most tests. And of course it depends on the video card and if it's overclocked and so on and so forth. This card is capable of SLI, yes it is. It is, but as you can see here, there is just one SLI bridge connection, so that means that you can up to, right, 2 of these in an SLI setup. So yes, you can. You know what, a lot of people are using these for physics. So they'll have a couple other cards and then this one for physics, dedicated video card for physics. Oh yes, keep your GTX 295s. Don't, I mean, this is nothing compared to that. Some people are saying that the live feed is slow. I don't exactly know why, but sorry if it is. We'll see how this plays back on Ustream later. But no, you can't compare this to, oh, I don't know, a GTX 260, I don't know, to be honest, what it would be like. It probably, I think the GTX 260 would take this card. I haven't tested a GTX 260, so So again, this is the Palette GTS 450 DirectX 11 video card. Any more questions with this card? Oh, and I should mention as well that the cooler on this video card is very different, as you can see here. Notice that the fans are not on top, blowing cool air down through the mini fins, but rather the fans are underneath here and they suck, or, you know, I guess, well, suck or pull through, pull air through these mini fins on the heatsink. And as you can see here, there's lots of heat pipes, but this cooler does not, I repeat, does not come in contact with the video card's memory. Well, despite the fact that this is kind of an odd cooling arrangement, the results are quite impressive. If you want to refer to my video review on that, it's not any worse than, you know, a blower style fan or a fan or fans on top of the heatsink. So So there you have it. Okay, I got to move on here now to the question: can you use physics with an AMD video card? Unless it's modified drivers, I don't think you can. Okay, the next product that I did a video review on this week is these beautiful little pretty G.Skill Phoenix Pro solid state drives. How you have to love solid state drives, but they are so expensive. And this is the box. These, this particular line, the Phoenix Pro Serial ATA 2.5-inch solid state drives, are available in a few different gigabyte or capacity options. 40 gigabytes, which this one is. So if you had a couple of these in a RAID 0 setup, it's wonderful. And let me just link again to that particular video review to the folks in chat. If you're not in chat, please get in chat. It's very helpful. There you go. The price on this is around, I think it's like $140 or something. Which is not bad. But again, if you bang for the buck, it's still on regular 3.5-inch hard drives. But a great option for anybody who doesn't really want to break the bank. Put a couple of these in a RAID 0 setup and you have some screaming solid state drives. Just check out the video review on that. I posted it just a second ago. I'll keep posting it here. You can check that out. I was just amazed actually by the performance of these drives. Quite neat. I was hoping to get a couple larger ones to see how they would compare, but somebody's asking here about RAID 0 question mark. Well, I'm not going to go in RAID 0 here, but yeah, so these are fantastic solid state drives. You can see black brushed aluminum. They look quite nice. Yes, they are MLC. Just reading some comments here in chat. Anyone have any questions specifically about this particular line, G.Skill Phoenix Pro solid state drives? Yes, supports trim. At least I did a trim check in Windows 7 and it said that it was enabled. So no, these are not serial ATA 3 or 6 gigabit per second solid state drives, but still they are screaming fast. And to be honest, most of us do not have serial ATA 3 motherboards or serial ATA 3 controllers, and also serial ATA 3 solid state drives, or for that matter regular hard drives, are going to be more expensive. So still, if anyone's not looking to break the bank, they're still going to go for a drive that is serial ATA 2 and not serial ATA 3. Well, I have the Western Digital Velociraptors on this system behind me, a couple of the 600 gigabyte versions, and I prefer those over solid state drives still, because those drives, more capacity and they are pretty fast, but not as fast as solid state drives now. Just can't beat it. And I know I did the video review on this mentioning about the capacities of normal solid state drives are from 16 gigabytes up to 256 gigabytes, and somebody chirped up and said, well, there's a 1 gigabyte and 2 terabyte models. Well, yes, there is, but those are unbelievably expensive and very rare. Normally these drives go up to a maximum of 256 megabytes. I don't know if I mentioned the capacities on these or not, but I'll mention it again in any case. 40 gigabytes, I think it's 60, 80. I should visit the site because I'm talking now without actually. It's 40 gigabytes, 80 gigabytes, 100 gigabytes, 160 gigabytes, and 240 gigabytes. But of course, when you break the 200 gigabyte barrier on these babies, you're going to break the bank, especially if you get a couple of these. Okay, well, that ends the second part of the show. People are crying right now. No. All good things must end. Well, it's not ending yet. We have still 200 viewers. We are breaching 200 viewers still. You know what? That's great. Isn't that wonderful? I said that already, but I'll keep saying it. I want more though. More viewers, come on. Okay, I know some of you have probably seen this product before, and by the way, this is part 3 of the last part of the live show. Anyone know what this is? Just quick. Guess. It is indeed HIS's Gamers Toolkit. Now some of you might have seen this, you can buy this separately, but some of you might have seen this in, or have this actually, included in some of your video cards that you've purchased in the past. This is a great little toolkit. It includes a level, an LED white light, a dust cleaner, screwdriver, a couple of screwdrivers actually. So let me break the packaging on this. Why do you need a level? Well, a level is good if you're, for example, installing water cooling equipment. Plastic casing. Dust cleaner. Good for dusting off the dust. Cleaning off the dust that's on your fan and other things in your case. An air compressor would be better for that, obviously, but. And there is a little plastic tab here. You pull that, and that enables the battery to make contact inside, so then you can shine the flashlight. How sick is that? It's bright too. It's good. It's a nice little toolkit. A level. See that? See how level my desk is? Oh no. No, it's pretty level. You can hook this onto your shirt, although this is a little dangerous because, of course, if the hook is actually on the cap, so if the cap comes off, you lose the whole thing. It would be nice to have the hook on the main body of the product, but hey, we've got the Phillips heads here, standard computer, the stars, you see, big one and a small one, and the flat tops here, the tiny one, see that, and a large one, and they go into this end. And by the way, there's a little magnet in here that, well, you see, it will hold this in, so they're very quick to snap into place. And when you're finished with this, a piece just came off the side. Oh my gosh! You can glue it back on. Live shows, you got to love the live shows. Anything can happen. Oh, by the way, you can put the dust cleaner here on the end. So there you have it. You got a dust cleaner, a level, light, and bits here for screwing in your video cards and all your other things that you install. So that ends this show. I will stick around though for a little while to answer just a few questions from you, but not very long tonight, unfortunately. So thanks again for the moderators for keeping the chat civil, the sponsors for sending interesting products, and you for showing up. It's great to see over 200 viewers in here. It's just fantastic. I thank you again for watching all of my videos and visiting my website and so on and so forth. I'm very, very grateful for that. So thank you again for that. So until next time, take care.